This is Comb the Desert, a collaboration that I did with Begyle Brewing, bottled April 30th of 2013. This is a citrus Schwarzbier brewed with lemon, lime, and orange juice, and a little peel as well. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Let's see how it's held up all this time. Comb the Desert. We ain't found.
Drink it or dump it.
I was really excited to go up to the brewery, as I always am, but I've known Kevin Carey a very long time. They're doing some really cool stuff here at Begyle. So let's see how Comb the Desert's doing. Hey everybody, Drink It or Dump It with Kevin Carey from Begyle Brewing. What's up?
Hey, not too much.
Thanks for taking some time.
Happy to be here.
I have so much to talk to you about because we have such a history. I met you and you had the idea of a CSB, a community-supported brewery.
Yep.
And here we are now in an expanded tap room. Talk about that journey.
We knew we wanted to start a business. We wanted that business to be a brewery, and we wanted it to be community-focused. And there was this model that had been started for farming, community-supported agriculture, and thought that was pretty cool. And so we wanted to apply that idea to beer because we were also kind of starting up small. We were not really necessarily professionals at the time. We were making the switch from home brewing to commercial brewing. The industry was very hard to break into at the time. There were not a lot of breweries. The jobs were few and far between, which is why I think you see a lot of growth in that, like 2011 through 15, especially 2012 in Chicago. Breweries like Spiteful, Pipeworks, Lake Effect, were all home brewers that made the switch, and those breweries are all still open today, and which I think is pretty cool. Right. The CSB model that we ended up coming up with, community-supported brewery, selling a growler a month to customers out of our retail store here on Cuyler, really started as a kind of an idea without a full plan. And over the years, it's really grown into something special where we have 300 members that participate. They live locally. You know, we're right in the middle of a neighborhood. If folks haven't been to the brewery before, we have houses, like we're looking at houses right now across the street, which is fairly unique for an industrial business like ours. The Ravenswood Industrial Corridor, we couldn't have done it without it. You know, I think having this old manufacturing facility here, which is basically sitting in the middle of a neighborhood. Our concept wouldn't have been as successful, I don't believe, if we didn't have the space. And so we were super lucky to move in, which was 6 blocks south of your City Provisions. Yeah. One of my favorite, to this day, still one of my favorite places on earth. And you were super cool and kind when we first met, and I told you our crazy idea, and yeah, you were supportive of day one. And I think of a lot about that time period when there was folks who we told we were going to do this idea, and really people were generally pretty supportive, and you know, so having you as a mentor over the years has been pretty great.
Oh, cool. So, how do you stay competitive in today's market that's seemingly oversaturated with craft breweries?
Having that direct connection to the community has sort of manifested into this idea that we are more than just a brewery. We are a hospitality company. So we are here to welcome in the community. The beer is what we started out doing. We started making beer and selling beer, but really the beer itself is it's the shared experience. So it's, you know, it's that social glue when you come into the tap room and you're there for a couple hours, either catching up with a friend, maybe meeting somebody new, or with a group of friends celebrating a milestone. You know, the beer is not necessarily, at least under our model, has never been meant to like overpower the sense of like community. I do believe we brew some of the best beer in Chicago. You know, you have to have good beer at this point, and I think our beer's fantastic.
I'd agree.
But at the same time, like when people are here, you know, having a good time, like that's just part of the equation. So that's grown into sort of this idea that we do treat ourselves more like a hospitality company in that we throw a lot of events, whether monthly events, annual events. We have a large block party that we do twice a year with our neighbors Dovetail, called May Festiversary. We've raised $250,000 for our local food pantry over the last 8 years. And so doing things like that, I think, are really important because you have to stay in front of the consumer. You need to have, whether it be a new idea or a reminder that you do these great things. Those are the larger scale ones, but then we do as simple as like a trivia or a wreath making class, or, I think treating this as a community hub is how we stay relevant.
Tell me, was there one specific beer that you had that you can remember that you tasted and you were like, oh, this is different. This is something up here?
My 21st birthday was spent at a Buffalo Wild Wings drinking craft beer at midnight with a friend. And I would say it would be a brewery, and it would be Bell's. Bell's was, transformational for me. But the big beer that we really enjoyed was Bell's. Oberon would be one, and then Two Hearted. Starting with like Coors Light and like keg beer, like Keystone, all that in college, and then pivoting to Michigan craft beer was pretty wild.
Nice jump.
Yeah, but we were very fortunate to have access to that. Still to this day, I'll get a fresh 6-pack of Two Hearted, and it just takes you back to.
I want to talk about our collaborations because the reason I'm here is to taste one of our collaborations. But I want to go back a little bit because we did Comb the Desert, which I brought, which was we bottled in April of 2013. But then we went on and did some other fun stuff too. We did, what was next? Dr. Dreidl's Imperial Hanukkah Pork?
Dr. Dreidel, I think. We also did the Botanic Garden beers.
We did the Change of Saisons.
Yeah, Change of Saisons, which was awesome.
Which was awesome, and I remember that beer just being a royal pain in the ass.
It was strawberry rhubarb.
Strawberry rhubarb. I just remember the whole tap room was full of crates of strawberries and rhubarb. And
that's when I learned how big rhubarb is.
Oh, yeah?
Like physically.
And then we did Picnic Island.
Picnic Island,
for Theater on the Lake. But Dr. Dreidl's Imperial Hanukkah Porter, I think the most fun I had was the 8 beery nights. And then we took French presses and we would put these ingredients. The second night we did espresso beans. Then we did ancho chilies. Then the next night we did bourbon vanilla chai, although I would want to say chai because it's on Hanukkah. Malted milk, which was so much fun. And then the marshmallow graham cracker and chocolate, where we burnt the marshmallow and put it in the glass.
I think that was the crowd favorite, if I remember correctly.
I mean, how can it not be?
Yeah.
Then we did one on nitro. And then we finished with the barrel-aged
version,
which we did in a Buffalo Trace. That was so much fun. What do you think this is going to taste like?
I think as long as you took care of it, it should be okay. It's a lager-ish. It's a lager adjacent.
Lager adjacent.
Yeah, Schwarzbier looks good. Yeah, the color's good. The logo in this glass looks good.
Logo looks great.
You kind of left some space in the top.
I was being generous. Cheers.
Cheers. So, do we think it's going to taste good? Smell good?
I think it's going to be a drink it. I mean, it already looks good. The carbonation's held up. Smells good.
Smells good. Smells oxidized.
Another thing I remember about this beer is bringing our staff to the tap room to juice fruit.
That's right, because it's not only a Schwarzbier, it's a Schwarzbier with lime and lemon, right?
And orange. Lemon.
A sessionable German ale. Yeah, I can't read that. It does say, though, we ain't found... Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It also said that on the bottom of the can.
Description's pretty small.
We ain't, well,
yeah, we can't say
it's a Spaceballs reference, obviously.
Alleged.
Alleged.
Oh,
yes.
Comb the Desert.
Infringement.
Comb the Desert. Did you sip it?
I did.
I honestly couldn't tell you that beer's 12 years old.
I know.
That's crazy.
This is definitely a drink it.
Wow.
To the point where we're not gonna drink this whole beer.
Yeah,
I
if you
assume,
like,
but-
I mean, I'm gonna definitely share it with everyone else because this is pretty crazy. Yeah, it's if you like dark beers with like smoked malts, even, I think some of that roastiness is coming through.
A lot of the roastiness is coming through. Maybe not so much of the citrus, but the nose, the mouthfeel. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all there. Just crazy.
Yeah, it's like there's some oxidation, but I think the roasted malts, the dark beer characteristic is like really keeping it good.
Yeah.
Keeping it kosher.
Mm-hmm.
We have not done a Schwarzbier in a while, and I'm kind of thinking maybe we should because it's pretty good.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, right. Let's bring it back.
What are you excited for in 2025?
No, I'm excited for this year. We have this new space that we're going to be rolling out, and more room for people to gather, different events, things like that.
Well, I'm so happy to see it all happening. I'm a big fan. Have been since day one. It's so great to see you growing. Come see Begyle Brewing in Ravenswood in Chicago. Come to their events, drink their beer. Thanks a lot for hanging with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I still can't believe that this is good.
We ain't found shit.
We haven't found shit.
I think we found one.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Pleasantly
Pleasantly surprised. I was a little nervous. Thought we were gonna have to do this thing where we pretended, but I'm actually gonna drink some more. Thank you for hanging on to things that you should have drank decades ago.
I knew there'd be a good reason to come back to it.